I'm very excited to see what's going to happen.
Can I tell Mats you're in or you're out in terms of coaching?
I'm definitely out.
Roger Federer just got asked directly about coaching Carlos Alcaraz, and his answer shut down every fantasy scenario tennis fans have been dreaming about. After weeks of speculation following Alcaraz's split with Juan Carlos Ferrero, everyone wondered if the Swiss legend would step in. Federer's response was brutally honest, definitive, and reveals everything about his retirement priorities and what he really thinks about coaching. Do you think Carlos Alcaraz actually needs a legendary coach like Federer to complete the career Grand Slam? Or is he talented enough to do it on his own? Drop your opinion below.
Let's go to the here and now. And Carlos Alcaraz looking for the career slam. Our colleague on Eurosport, Mats Wilander, said, he would do well having you as a coach. Do you think if he had you as a coach, what would you add, and could he get the career slam?
I think he can get it with a coach or with no coach. He's that good, obviously, but a good coaching definitely will be helping. I don't know if he's already had to do press here and talk about his Ferrero situation a little bit, which is obviously going to be maybe a little bit uncomfortable or just something you have to do as a pro, but he's definitely going to be very important for him to find the right person in his corner and to be able to hit the career Grand Slam already at such a young age is incredible, to be honest. So let's see if he can do it. I mean, Sinner, I think, obviously is the other big favorite, and so I believe Novak will have a good shot as well. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen.
So the tennis world has been absolutely buzzing with speculation ever since Carlos Alcaraz announced his split with longtime coach Juan Carlos Ferrero. Everyone immediately started asking the same question. Who's going to coach him next? And more specifically, could Roger Federer, the most elegant and successful player in tennis history, step into that role? On paper, it's a fantasy scenario that makes perfect sense. Federer has all the knowledge, all the experience, all the credibility anyone could possibly want in a coach. Alcaraz is the most exciting young talent in tennis, someone who plays with creativity and shot-making brilliance that genuinely echoes Federer's own style. Put them together, and you'd have a coaching partnership that would dominate headlines and potentially dominate Grand Slams for years.
Can I tell Mats you're in or you're out in terms of coaching?
I'm definitely out, but maybe I could give him some advice on the periphery. But no, everybody knows I'm too busy with my children and with my life at the minute. So yeah.
But reality, as it turns out, is way less romantic than fan fiction. Federer was asked directly about coaching Alcaraz during the Australian Open, and his answer was absolutely definitive. When the reporter brought up the idea and mentioned that many people think Alcaraz would benefit from having Federer as a coach, Roger didn't dance around the question or leave hope dangling in the air. "I'm definitely out," Federer said plainly. No ambiguity. No, maybe someday. No, we'll see what happens. Just a clear, straightforward rejection of the entire idea. He went on to explain that his life right now is focused on his family, on traveling outside of tennis, and on genuinely enjoying retirement. The daily grind of coaching on tour, the constant travel, the pressure, the insane schedule, the emotional investment, none of that fits with the lifestyle he's chosen post-retirement. And honestly, good for him. Federer gave tennis everything for over 2 decades.
Welcome back to Melbourne. They're chanting your name already. They adore you here.
It's nice to be back.
What's it like?
It's great. I mean, I've just only landed, yesterday, so I haven't really come in touch with any fans yet. So this is the first moment to see fans again, and right away they're into it. It feels great. I didn't have a farewell or anything when I retired. 3 years ago. My last game here was 5 years ago.
2022.
In 2020 was
2020, and then you retired in 6 years ago.
Yeah, so 6 years ago, and so I don't know how much has changed here in Melbourne, if they still remember me, so clearly a few still are older, than 10 years old, so that's a good thing.
He earned the right to step away completely and do whatever makes him happy. If that means not coaching anyone, not even the most talented young player in the sport, then that's his choice, and nobody should guilt him into doing otherwise. But Federer being Federer, he didn't completely slam the door shut. He added a caveat that probably gave fans just enough hope to keep the rumors alive for a few more months. "Maybe I could give him some advice on the periphery," he said. That's classic Federer diplomacy right there. He's saying no to the commitment of full-time coaching, but he's leaving the door open to casual conversations, informal advice, maybe hitting some balls together at an exhibition event. He's not shutting down the relationship entirely, just the formal coaching structure that would require him to actually show up at tournaments and do the work. That's a massive difference that fans need to understand. Texting someone encouragement before a match is very different from being in their coaching box for 2 weeks at every Grand Slam.
I think he can get it with a coach or with no coach. He's that good, obviously, but a good coaching definitely will be helping. I don't know if he's already had to do press here and talk about his Ferrero situation a little bit, which is obviously going to be maybe a little bit uncomfortable or just something you have to do as a pro, but he's definitely going to be very important for him to find the right person in his corner and to be able to hit the career Grand Slam already at such a young age.
Then Federer said something that's probably the most important part of this entire conversation, and it's getting overlooked because people are focused on him saying no to coaching. When asked if Alcaraz could complete the career Grand Slam with Federer as his coach, Roger said, "I think he can get it with a coach or with no coach. He's that good." Let that sink in for a second. Roger Federer, someone who knows exactly what it takes to win 20 Grand Slams and dominate the sport for nearly 2 decades, believes Carlos Alcaraz is talented enough to achieve the career Grand Slam regardless of who's sitting in his coaching box. That's not just a compliment. That's a validation from someone whose opinion actually carries weight in tennis. Federer isn't some random commentator throwing out hot takes for clicks. He's someone who lived at the absolute pinnacle of tennis for longer than almost anyone else in history. When he says Alcaraz is that good, people should listen. He's seen every type of player, competed against the best, and he's saying Alcaraz has what it takes to win everything, even without legendary guidance.
When I say that Carlos plays the same way as Roger, but just better level because it's new generations and tennis evolves, what I mean is they have the same type of game. Incredible forehand moving around the backhand. A very complete game using everything. Drop shots, sometimes return volley, quite often serve and volley. Trying to dominate, taking the balls early, coming to the net, following at the net every time he has the opportunity to. This is a complete game. Who does that on tour? Not many players. It's very rare. A lot of players technically would know how to do it, but they don't really dare doing it during the matches. Carlos and Roger have the same concept of tennis, of course, with different styles. Roger is more fluid, of course, and he will always probably be the smoothest player that ever played, but it's the same type of tennis. That's what I mean.
Federer also pointed out that finding the right person in Alcaraz's corner will definitely help, but it doesn't have to be a retired champion with 20 Grand Slam titles. It just has to be someone Alcaraz trusts, someone who understands his game, someone who can help him navigate the mental and tactical challenges of professional tennis. In other words, Alcaraz doesn't need Roger Federer specifically. He just needs the right fit. And that's a much more realistic and healthy perspective than the fantasy of pairing him with a retired legend just for the headlines and the press conferences. Federer also took the opportunity to praise Alcaraz's game in specific terms, highlighting his creativity, his athleticism, and his fearless shot-making. He compared the current rivalry between Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner to what tennis needs after the Big Three era, saying these new rivalries are exciting for fans and essential for the sport's future. That's another layer of respect from Federer. He's not just saying Alcaraz is good, he's saying Alcaraz represents the future of tennis, that he's already one of the faces of the next generation, and that his battles with Sinner are giving fans the kind of compelling storylines that kept people invested during the Federer, Nadal, Djokovic era. Now, let's talk about Carlos Alcaraz's side of this situation, because his handling of the coaching split and all the speculation around his future has been remarkably mature for someone who's only 21 years old. When Alcaraz announced his split with Juan Carlos Ferrero, he was clear, respectful, and emotionally intelligent about the whole thing. He explained that the decision was mutual, made with a lot of respect on both sides, and that there was no conflict or drama behind it. "There's a time that has to end," Alcaraz said, describing it as closing a chapter in his life and career. He thanked Ferrero for everything they accomplished together over 7 years, acknowledging that Ferrero played a massive role in developing him from a talented teenager into a Grand Slam champion and world #1. That gratitude and maturity really stands out. A lot of young athletes, when they split with a coach, either throw shade or create controversy to justify the change and make themselves look better. Alcaraz did the complete opposite. He gave Ferrero full credit, maintained that they're still friends, and made it clear this was just a natural evolution in his career, not some messy breakup. Alcaraz also stressed that his team is largely the same except for Ferrero's absence. He hasn't blown up his entire support system or made dramatic changes just for the sake of change. He's just moving forward with the people he trusts, and he's confident in that decision. Most importantly, Alcaraz made it clear that his focus hasn't changed at all. His goal is still to improve his game, chase history, and complete the career Grand Slam. Whether he has a famous coach or not doesn't change that mission one bit. That mindset is exactly what separates champions from everyone else. Champions don't make excuses. They don't wait for perfect circumstances or legendary coaches to magically appear and fix everything. They work with what they have, trust their process, and execute under pressure. So while fans are out here on social media fantasizing about Federer coaching Alcaraz and creating highlight reels of what that partnership would look like, Alcaraz himself is focused on the actual work. He's not sitting around waiting for a savior to rescue his career. He's preparing for the Australian Open, drilling his game, and trusting that he's good enough to figure it out. And here's the reality that some fans really don't want to accept. Carlos Alcaraz probably doesn't need Roger Federer or any other legendary coach to succeed at the highest level. He's already won multiple Grand Slams. He's already been world #1. He's already beaten the best players in the world on the biggest stages in the sport. Yes, having an experienced coach helps. Yes, the right voice in your corner can make a difference in crucial moments when matches are tight and the pressure is enormous. But Alcaraz has already proven he has the talent, the mental toughness, and the tactical intelligence to win at the highest level without needing someone to hold his hand. Adding Federer to his team might generate massive headlines and sell a lot of newspapers, but it wouldn't fundamentally change who Alcaraz is as a player. Federer himself basically said exactly that. He acknowledged that good coaching definitely helps, but he also made it crystal clear that Alcaraz's talent is so exceptional that he can achieve greatness with or without a famous name sitting courtside. That's actually the biggest compliment Federer could possibly give. He's saying Alcaraz doesn't need a crutch. He doesn't need someone else's legacy to legitimize his own. He's already legitimate. He's already elite. He just needs the right support system, and that support can come from anywhere. The speculation about Federer coaching Alcaraz also reveals something really interesting about how fans view coaching relationships in tennis. There's this romantic idea that pairing a young star with a legendary former champion automatically leads to success and championships. But tennis history doesn't really support that narrative at all. Most of the greatest players in history didn't have legendary champions as their coaches. Federer's primary coach for most of his career was Severin Luthi, a former Swiss Davis Cup player who never reached anywhere close to the heights Federer did as a player. Rafael Nadal's uncle Tony wasn't a Grand Slam champion. Novak Djokovic has worked with multiple coaches throughout his career, but none of them were legends on Djokovic's level as players. The best coaching relationships aren't about fame or credentials or how many titles the coach won. They're about trust, communication, compatibility, and the ability to help a player unlock their potential and perform under pressure. Sometimes that comes from a former champion who understands what it takes to win. Sometimes it comes from someone who never played professionally at all, but just understands the game deeply. What Alcaraz needs isn't necessarily a famous name that will impress people at press conferences. He needs someone who understands his game, complements his personality, can handle the pressure of coaching at the highest level, and won't try to fundamentally change who he is as a player. Whether that's someone currently on his team stepping into a bigger role, or a new coach being brought in from outside, or even Alcaraz deciding to go without a formal head coach for a while and just work with his existing team, any of those options could work if the fit is right and everyone's on the same page. Federer's comments also highlight just how much he's genuinely enjoying retirement. He's not itching to get back into the competitive grind. He's not missing the pressure and intensity of professional tennis. He's living his life on his own terms, spending time with his family, traveling for fun instead of for tournaments, and engaging with tennis only on his own schedule when he feels like it. That's the retirement he earned after 24 years as a professional athlete. He doesn't owe tennis anything more. He gave fans decades of brilliance, hundreds of memorable matches, and conducted himself with class and professionalism throughout his entire career. If he wants to spend the rest of his life never coaching anyone, that's completely fine, and nobody should make him feel guilty about it. So Roger Federer is definitely not coaching Carlos Alcaraz, and he made that crystal clear with zero ambiguity. But he also believes Alcaraz is talented enough to win everything with or without legendary help. If you want more honest breakdowns of tennis news and career decisions, smash that like button and subscribe. This Australian Open is just getting started, and the drama is already incredible.